Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome into Morning in the Valley. I am Jeff Bidwell. Glad you are with us today as we are now T-minus 38 days until go time for the 2025-26 season. Apologies for having to dip out on Wednesday. Had one final opportunity here in the middle of football season and before we ramp up basketball season, one final opportunity for just a smidge of R&R. And judging by the zeros and zeros of letters and questions about where I was obviously missed. Glad I'm back. Glad you're with us today. We're going to talk with Fred King, Murray State big man, coming up in just a couple of minutes. We will have our conversation. I got a chance to talk with him last Friday, so a lot happened in the last week, certainly not only at Murray State, but everywhere. Men's practices and some women's practices started either Monday or Tuesday this week. I know some schools are waiting until next week to get going, but we'll talk with Fred, who spent 3 years at Creighton, came to Murray State with his head coach, Ryan Miller, and expecting a lot of big things out of Fred this year in the Missouri Valley Conference. That'll be in just a couple of minutes. Coming up next week, we're going to talk with Northern Iowa men's basketball coach Ben Jacobson, the dean of coaching in the Valley. We'll finally get our opportunity to catch up with Coach Jake. Next week, we'll also begin our previews as we will start chipping away school by school as we march towards November the 3rd and get you as ready as humanly possible for go time. And I feel like I've said it for 50 days, and I'll say it certainly for the next 35. Cannot wait. All right. Headlines of the day. Let's get rolling. It is America's great nightmare, at least here in the greater Midwest area, in the Missouri Valley Conference footprint. Where are our conference schedules? We wait as a nation. We mourn as a nation, waiting for the smoke to come out of the chimney to say we have our conference schedules. We wait. Now, I did some fast math this morning just to see like where we were. I had somebody ask me about this a couple of weeks ago. What's taken so long and how many other conferences put their stuff out. And I looked and I alphabetically going through, I got through about the first 10 conferences and like 9 of them had not released their schedules. I was like, okay, we've got time. There are 31 conferences in Division I college basketball. 26 of them have released their conference schedules. And there are still 5 lone soldiers out there. The MEAC, the Mountain West, the SWAC, the West Coast Conference, and your Missouri Valley Conference. Now, again, just for point of reference, a year ago, it was September the 20th when the men's schedule was released. The women's schedule came out on September the 26th. As I look at the calendar today, it is September the 26th. So depending on your perspective, depending which prism you want to look through, maybe a little late, maybe on time still, but we still wait. Vance Sawyer, our friend from the March to the Arch podcast, reported the other day on the March to the Arch podcast that he had talked to somebody in the conference office that said this year they were going to release the men's and women's schedules at the same time. So if we go by that metric, and again, the women's came out last year on the 26th. Today's the 26th. Technically, they're not late. I don't know that anybody is, there's no real deadline per se, other than just everybody, looking in their respective laptops or phones or email inboxes, just tapping their fingers, going any day now. I said, really, this is the most important people in the Missouri Valley Conference ecosystem that this information is important to are all those director of basketball operations who are in charge of scheduling and the planning, getting buses, getting airplanes, getting hotels, getting meals, all that stuff booked, because it's like, it's coming. It's coming. And the quicker they can get that information, the better, because then it just becomes the Hunger Games over who can get the bus reservations and the plane, those charter buses reserved first for who has them. So we wait. I'm a little surprised that here on the 26th, it was a week ago that we posted, or we got the votes were due for the Missouri Valley Conference men's preseason rankings. I was asked to vote on that. I was not asked to vote on the women, so I don't know when the women's. I think every school has 2 representatives, and that's how they got with that. So I don't know when the women's deadline was to get the votes in, but the men's was last Friday. I kind of half expected, dipping out here for a couple of days that I was going to come back and we would have it. I thought maybe Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. Here we are at Friday, still don't have it. So I don't know if it's going to just be one giant package deal or what the deal is, but we just wait. We're just impatient. In the end, in the big scheme of things, we're not no crime, no foul here, other than just we want to go. We want preseason polls. We want to be able to argue about who is where. We need schedules so we can start planning our lives for the next several months and who's going where and what games we want to go see and all that. So hopefully soon. But there has been not a hint of smoke coming out of the chimney that any of this is imminent. And I say that, and in the next 5 minutes, it could just appear. But for now, still nothing. So along with the MEAC and the Mountain West and the SWAC and the West Coast Conference, all of us in the Missouri Valley Conference, we wait. Okay. Now to other scheduling news, but this at least of the non-conference variety. Southern Illinois women have released their non-conference schedule for the 2025-26 season. Just 10 non-conference games instead of, sometimes you get that 11, but just going for 10 with Kelly Bond White. 5 home games out of those 10. Always a great, if you can get at least half your home games at the mid-major level, great. 2 non-D1 games. They get Austin Peay, Western Kentucky, and SEMO at home. They'll play their MTE down in Nashville, the Coast to Coast Music City Classic, where they will take on Winthrop and then get get Arkansas out of the SEC Power 4 school. And then to go on the road, they'll be challenged. They'll get Purdue Fort Wayne, who is out of the horizon, a sort of sneaky, that's a quad 2 game, according to last year. I mean, Purdue Fort Wayne was a top 100 team in the net. They'll go to Mizzou and then UAB as well. So, look, this schedule is not about metrics. This schedule is not about that. That's not really the prism that we're looking through the metrics from a hey, let's get to the NCAA tournament standpoint. This is an important year for Kelly Bond White. I don't think there's any real way around it, and it's certainly not a hey, we're just going to go play the worst teams in the country and just try to stockpile some wins and float us. There are some challenges on there. Again, Mizzou will be a quad 1 game. Fort Wayne will be a quad 2 game. You've got some quad 3 games at UAB. Arkansas on a neutral site. You get Western Kentucky coming in as well. Again, those are just, you say the quad numbers, those are all from last year's net. We'll have to see how everybody shakes out this year. But, the last 3 years, she's going into year 4. The overall wins 12-11-4 last year. Conference wins 8-6-2. Last year was an aberration, we hope, for SIU, just simply due to the fact they were so beat up last year. Had so many just they were so thin in terms of bench depth by the time they got to the end. It was bringing a spork to a gunfight, and they are hopefully going to be healthy this year and be able to make a bounce up. But this is a schedule that feels manageable in the non-conference, and there is a very realistic opportunity for them to win at least half of those games in the non-conference. Be able to get you win 4 games last year, they should be able to get that and beyond in the non-conference, and then be ready to roll once they get into Valley play. There's some gaps in the schedule where you see they will play just a couple games early, and then they get 3 games in 4 days when they have Austin Peay, and then they'll just zip on down to Nashville for that coast to coast Music City Classic with then Winthrop and Arkansas. So that'll be an interesting test for them. We talk about depth to play 3 games in 4 days. But we will a big year for Kelly Bond White and the Salukis, and hopefully the schedule sets up for them to have some early success, build some confidence, and have them be able to be whether they're a threat to make a run at the Valley this year, but be a threat to be a top half team. And we'll see how that shakes out as the season progresses. Some commitment news for Cape Popovic Goss in Peoria, as Bradley has gotten a commitment from Journey Lovett, a 6-foot guard out of Houston, Texas. She has announced she is coming to Bradley, just offered 2 months ago. July 17th, she posted that she had been offered by Bradley. A lot of Texas schools had come after her. She had Incarnate Word, UTEP, North Texas, East Texas A&M, Abilene Christian, also had Louisiana Tech, Cal State Northridge. The one sort of out of the footprint, I guess, was Bradley up in Peoria and going north. And in the end, Journey Lovett, big guard. And that is what we have seen as the years. Now, we've seen small guards be wildly successful in this league in recent years. but you can't teach size. And if you can get a 6-foot guard, you're going to do it. And Kate Popovic-Goss has done that indeed. So congratulations on her, and to her on the commitment, and congratulations to Journey Lovett on making her college choice official. We have a old friend alert, Brittany Donaldson, who played at Northern Iowa from 2011 to 2015. She has gotten into the NBA world, and she has now got a new job with the Atlanta Hawks after 2 years as an assistant coach with the Hawks, first female coach in franchise history. She has now been promoted to the director of basketball development, methodology, and integration. That's hard to fit on a business card, but it has been dubbed as a promotion for her. It is a new leadership and strategy role within the organization. She spent 2 years prior to in Atlanta. She was the director of analytics, coaching analytics in Detroit. She was in Toronto, part of the NBA championship team there with the Raptors. She was a data analyst there. Her degree from Northern Iowa was in statistics and actuarial science, which I had to Google because I had never heard of actuarial science. And it's basically, it deals with the financial and insurance sector, where they apply math and statistical methods to uncertain future events. I don't know that there could be anything more of an uncertain future event, certainly than athletics. And that's kind of why we all like it, isn't it? So congratulations to her off the sidelines, and now going to be the director of basketball development, methodology, and integration for the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, time now for our guest today, who was with us last Friday. Got a chance to catch up with Fred King. He is the Creighton transfer who has followed his head coach, Ryan Miller, to Murray State University, where he will become, be a racer, obviously, this year, but he is going to get a lot of time on the floor, something he did not get the last 3 years, and we'll talk about that. Playing behind Ryan Kalkbrenner for his 3 years there at Creighton. Kalkbrenner, one of the best centers in all of college basketball. And now, and Kalkbrenner was a guy, and we talked about it, he didn't come off the floor very much. So there wasn't a lot of time for Fred to get some action, but he is going to see his playing time. We got to see him in sort of that sneak preview in the Bahamas back, I guess it was early last month, almost 2 months ago now. And he is such a dominant, imposing figure. And that is the part that is got a lot of people excited. And honestly, I cannot wait. We have some big men in this league this year that there are going to be some clashes of the Titans, and whether it's Fred King, whether it's Chase Walker, Connor Turnbull, we can go on. The trio down at Belmont. There are some big dudes, and that are not just, hey, I'm a wide body, I'm going to go down there and rebound, but you got guys that can be threats on the offensive end. And Fred certainly appears to be one of those. We got a chance to talk again last Friday. It was right before the team went on a team bonding exercise. They went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, went through some military testing and sort of the obstacle course type stuff. And then they went on down to Nashville, practiced at Vanderbilt, and then just did some more team bonding stuff, went to Topgolf, went to a Titans game, and so on. So it was a big weekend. And obviously this past Monday, racers started practice number 1 of their 30. They're allowed to get over the 40-day window there with Ryan Miller before they get ready for their November 3rd opener at the Field of 68 opening day marathon against Omaha. So I prattled on long enough. Here's my conversation from last Friday with the big man of the Murray State Racers. Here is Fred King. Joined now by Murray State, very big man, Fred King. Fred, good morning to you. Before we get into basketball, need to talk a little bit about the last couple of days, really, I guess today being Friday, Wednesday night over at the softball diamond. Got to watch you and your teammates get after it, come up a little bit short in a softball game against your coaches and staff. Firstly, how would you grade yourself as a softball standout at Murray State?
I would give myself like a B plus. It came alive late. The first couple of hits is kind of iffy, so I would say a B plus for sure.
How much grief have you and your teammates taken from the coaching staff since they were able to come out victorious?
I mean, not really too much because we already beat them in so many events. It's just kind of fair that they win one.
What has it been like? And I know for Coach, it's been very important to do all these team bonding things. Today, you guys are going down to Nashville, and there's going to be some work at down at the Army base at Fort Campbell, and there's going to be an escape room. You guys have done paintball and bowling and pickleball and softball and just all this bonding stuff away from the court. How helpful has it been for you guys as new teammates that it has helped to bring you all together?
I think it's helped amazingly because like we're all new players except for like me, Mason, Brock, and Ben because we played a year at Creighton since we knew each other. So like being able to do all these like team bonding has really like brought us together and like help us like figure out each other more so like we can have a deeper connection on the court. So that has been great.
Being at Murray State in your first year, but again, to your point, there is a Creighton connection, not only with the head coach Ryan Miller, but some guys that you played with, even for just a year, and obviously Mason Miller for a couple of years, but you've got some sort of connection. How, for you personally, just how much easier did that make it that there was at least a few familiar faces coming into a place you'd never been before?
It's really great because I've never really heard of Murray like outside of just out of Ja Morant, and so
Yeah.
it has been really good to like know that I have a lot of people in my corner who I've already been with. So yeah.
Let's talk about Creighton. 3 years there, playing behind one of the best centers in the country in Ryan Kalkbrenner. Just what was your experience like at Creighton and, with Coach Miller as an assistant coach for 3 years?
It was amazing. I learned a lot of stuff being behind him for so long. So like, he was deployed like most of the years I was there, so I kind of like picked up a couple of defensive skills, and like even though like I was on the bench, he would like give me a lot of tips and stuff. So I would say like just being able to learn each year and each year has made me really better.
What's maybe the one thing from him that from Kalkbrenner that you're going to try to apply on the floor this year?
Just try to be an everyday guy. Cole Brennan an everyday guy. Don't matter like if he was sick or whatever. Every time he stepped on that court, he would bring it.
He played a lot for a big man. He played a lot, and you kind of filled in behind him, and which didn't account for many minutes. And now this year, there's a lot more of an expectation on you of how much time you're going to be on the floor. How does that feel right now? Of just like there's more of a burden on you this year of what you're going to expect rather than playing behind one of the best centers in all of college basketball.
It's a big burden, but like being behind someone for so long has like it builds like that urge. So like when you really get that chance, really just try to show out. So that's what I'm gonna try to do.
What was the biggest difference you've noticed so far? And it's only been a couple months of summer workouts, but what has been the biggest difference between Ryan Miller, the assistant coach, and Ryan Miller, the head coach?
I would say he's the same person, just that now he's in charge.
Yeah.
So, like he's a really straightforward guy. He lets you know like when you're doing good, when you're doing bad. So that's really good. And he wants the best for us. So like even like when we mess up, he's like trying to make sure we get better and like giving us like good prep talk and stuff. So yeah.
Was it an easy decision to come to Murray State, knowing he was here and it was a guy you've been familiar with, to go to a place that you didn't know, as you said, don't know anything about, but to get a chance to finish out your career in style?
Yes, I didn't even go on any other visits. Like Coach Miller's the type of guy like if he really wants you or like if you've been around him for a lot, he gonna make sure that you're good, and that's the type of guy he is, a family guy.
You guys got a chance last month to go down to the Bahamas and play in an exhibition tour. Got to play 3 games, but for you it was a little different because you got to go home, back to your home there in the Bahamas. What was it like being there and summer vacation, I guess, on some level, but getting to see so many familiar faces?
It was great. I don't really get to go home a lot, like during season and stuff, like because since it's like a little bit far. So like being able to see all my little sisters, my mom, my dad, and then it was my grandma's first time coming to watch me play, so that was really nice.
You played great. The team, obviously, you're playing lesser competition certainly than you will see this year, but just the opportunity to be all together and not play against somebody that wasn't yourselves in practices and so on. How did you feel like the trip down to the Bahamas went?
I felt like it was really good. You know, we get to figure out ourselves. You know, like playing against each other, as you said. You know, like sometimes since we know the plays, we could cheat it. But like going against like new faces, you know, we get to see like how our offense is and then how our defense is. So that was great.
How helpful? I know from a coaching standpoint, they get excited because when you go on these tours, you get 10 extra practices ahead of time where it's not just the 8 hours a week that they can spend with you. How much did that help you guys sort of come together and bond as a group?
It helped us a lot, you know, because like we're, you know, as we all are new, you know, we get to learn like new playbook, new style. So like just getting everybody comfortable. So those extra practice really helped us, you know, to get together and be on one screen as a team.
You guys start practice for real on Monday. What's sort of the feeling in your belly as you're getting ready to start? You go through all summer workouts, and you know it's little blips of time, but now it's for real. How is it different for you?
Uh, I was like, man, it's quick, but you know, it's time to get to business. So, you know, just take it one day at a time and just keep chipping away till our first game.
Have you has it sunk in yet though that like this is it? Like college basketball, I got one more year at this. It's like 6 months from now we're going to be having the conversation of like, hey, I'm done and I'm moving on to the next level. Have you felt that yet?
Yeah, but I keep trying to like push that feeling away. You know, I can't believe can't believe I'm a senior already. It felt like just the other day I was a freshman.
What's the best part of living in Murray, Kentucky for the 3 months you've been there?
Ah, I don't know, probably spending time with my teammates. You know, we hang out a lot. We always watch football games and stuff. So yeah.
You guys, the non-conference schedule is that we're still waiting on the conference schedule. We'll get that at some point, I guess. But the non-conference schedule starting out in Omaha against Omaha in the field of 68, going to the Cayman Islands. Got a game in Dallas against SMU. What's any game that's on that non-conference schedule that kind of has your interest peaked a little bit?
Um, Probably against UNO. You know, being from Creighton, you know, I know a couple of the UNO boys, so that'll be good to like play them, you know. But I would say every game, you know, because we get to showcase like our skills and show people that Murray State is really good.
I'm assuming the teammates, though, there's some added excitement about the Cayman Islands Thanksgiving week, though.
I've never been to the Cayman Islands, so that would be
Okay.
great.
Well, you guys, yeah, I saw enough pictures of guys on boats and stuff down in the Bahamas. You guys will figure out a way to find a little bit of relaxation time down there in the Caymans. He is Fred King. He is the 6'10" condominium with feet, just a giant human being, and can't wait to get to see you in action when we get to November. Thank you so much for the time today. Have fun at the Army base later on today, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks for having me.
All right,
All
Fred.
right,
Thanks,
there
buddy.
is Fred
Appreciate
King.
it.
Thank you.
A man of few words.
A man of few words, but he is speaking a lot on the court for sure. He is he said he is all of 6'9". He is 260. Body fat is nothing. I mean, he's just cut out of stone, and he's just a load down there. And I just can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see him perform. I can't wait to see him go up against, like I said, the Chase Walkers, the Connor Turnbulls, the Rogers, the Orms, the Sharnovskys down at Belmont. I'm like, I can't wait. This has been. We've had some great guards, certainly in the league here in recent years, but man, I don't know that the pendulum has swung all the way, but we have got some great bigs this year, and cannot wait to see those head-to-head matchups as the season progresses. Okay, not often that we do some. I guess today this is morning in the Valley. It could be morning in the Ohio Valley as well. But some news out of the Ohio Valley that I think has some impact on at least two of our Missouri Valley teams. KK Robinson, Little Rock's best player, is out for the season. Undisclosed injury. He's a sixth-year senior, and they had media availability down at Little Rock. Head coach Darrell Walker reporting that Robinson is out and he is done for the year. And this is significant due to Little Rock most likely don't see much resistance any of the other direction. They were going to be the preseason pick in the Ohio Valley Conference. Murray State was hosting Little Rock back end of a home and home from 2 years ago. They'll host them November the 18th. November the 29th, Little Rock will go to Southern Illinois. KK Robinson was spent the first couple years at Arkansas, came to Little Rock, was a first-team All-Ohio Valley Conference standout in 2023-24. Last year, he was the preseason player of the year, missed the entire season due to injury. This year, the preseason player of the year, and now he is out again. Little Rock, one of those teams that was going to be a dangerous quad 3-ish game. The Bart Torvik projections coming in had Little Rock at 142, which is just, again, it's a game that if you win, they're like, you should have. But boy, it's a red flag, danger zone, waving lookout game because they're talented. But their best player will not play. And so maybe that is the Torvik numbers have not updated to kind of see what sort of a projection impact that will have. Little Rock, by all accounts, coming out of Arkansas is that they're still going to be fine and they're still going to be competitors in the OVC, but that is a massive weapon they've lost, which isn't going to hurt the feelings of the coaching staffs at Murray State and SIU, at least on the 18th and the 29th of November, that they will not have to figure out how to stop him because he is a wildly talented player. Certainly wish him the best. He had a COVID year. Obviously, everybody took the COVID year. Last year was a medical redshirt year. This was a 6th year for him. I don't know if he can get a waiver to come back for year number 7. At this point, feels like everybody can get a 7th year if they really want to, but 2 consecutive season-ending injuries before that happened in the preseason. Just sick for him on that, but hopefully he will be okay, and we'll see if he is able to come back for Little Rock. Coming up on Monday, the Field of 68, our friends there, Rob Doster, Jeff Goodman, and the gang, they are going to be starting their mid-major media day marathon leading up to the season. Monday, they will be focusing on the Missouri Valley Conference, 8 to 11 on their YouTube and X channels. They will go through, if they do it the same way, and I presume they did last year, it's a recorded show, so all the interviews being done with the coaches this week, and then they will just kind of roll them all together. 3 hours of Valley talk coming up next Monday from 8 until 11. My feelings won't be hurt. If you just catch me after. We'll record this show. You can catch it after. Watch those guys, catch all the coaches, and then come a little palate cleanser, and then a little Valley dessert. You come drop in, check out Morning in the Valley afterwards. But hopefully by Monday, we'll have a schedule. Hopefully by Monday, we'll have preseason rankings and something else we can yell about. But that is fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I checked while we were talking to Fred, and I will do it again right now. I checked the email one last time to see if maybe, just maybe, something came in, and no, nothing from the conference office. So we still wait for the smoke. All right. Final deal for this morning. The NCAA. How about the NCAA? There is a report, Ross Dellinger from Yahoo, reporting that we may very well have sponsor patches on jerseys as early as next year. Division I commissioners are in Chicago this week, and that has been one of the topics of conversation. Right now, the main issue is there is a disagreement over the type of patch that will be put on. There is a disagreement over the number of patches that can be worn. Is this going to be a NASCAR thing where you've got them all over? And then the main disagreement is who makes those decisions. Is this going to be a school decision? Is it going to be a conference decision? Is it going to be an NCAA decision? Yahoo talked to, I guess this was back in December, they had talked to the president of Learfield, who had estimated that the value of one of those patches can be anywhere from $500,000 to all the way up to $12 million, depending on the brand, obviously, and then certainly the exposure, depending on, are you Duke or North Carolina, and you have Kansas, you've got 20 games on ESPN, or is it a team from the Valley that might get one game on the ESPN and the rest are on ESPN Plus, and it's a numbers game. How many eyeballs are on? I mean, it's just commercials for the Super Bowl are a whole lot more than your local news. There's just more eyeballs on it. That's how ultimately that's going to work. The other sort of plot point in all of this is there already are sponsor patches on jerseys. And that's the Nike swoosh, that's Under Armour, it's Adidas. And so and I'm sure this will all be parsed by the lawyers and the legal teams on both sides. But, what do they have to say, and what leg do they have to stand on if they're like, wait a minute, we're paying you guys all this money to have our logo on your stuff? Well, what is going to stop, whether it's a school or a conference or the NCAA, for allowing patches on the other side? Obviously, that is no matter where you are. I mean, if you're at Tennessee and you can get $10 million, that's a huge chunk of money. If you're in the OVC, if you're in the Missouri Valley, you're in the Sun Belt, Conference USA, look, $500,000, that's a lot of money. It's ultimately going to come down to, how much, and it sounds like in the end, the momentum of this is moving forward. And from what I read, it looked like right now it's just going to be kind of focused on football and men's basketball. That barrier of entry will not last long. I mean, it will be, and again, while the returns may lessen as we go forward, you're going to see it'll be in women's basketball, it'll be in baseball, it'll be in softball, it'll be on volleyball, it'll be everywhere. So it's just going to be a matter of, it looked like it was the fall of 2026. This was going to go into effect with football. Basketball be ready to go. I think the question is going to be, I don't know that this can be a school decision, because I think if you leave it to the schools, you're going to have schools that you will have a school that comes out, it'll be like NASCAR, and they're like, look, we're just trying to make money. And that's the real estate we can sell. And you're going to have teams with 10, 15, 20, patches on there. And maybe in the end, they don't get a lot for all of them, individually, but you group it together and they're like, hey, we made enough money. I would imagine that it'll be dictated by the conferences. And so that at least the playing field in the conferences is level. If you've got one, we've got one. If you've got five, we've got five. I don't know that from an NCAA standpoint, because that whatever that the SWAC and the Sun Belt and the schools of that ilk are interested in, the Big Ten and the ACC and the SEC and the Big 12, they're going to do what they want. So I'm just going to feel like this is going to be, in the end, this is going to be conference-based. Time will tell if I'm right. But I think that 5 years ago, if this story came out, I would have been horrified. And today, on September the 26th, 2025, I'm like, it's fine. The world did not cave in upon itself when the NBA went to patches. WNBA obviously has them. Soccer has them. Football has them. Baseball has them. I don't believe the NFL has gone to it yet, but they print more money than God at this point. So maybe they feel like they can hold off, but that's just a matter of time. I mean, it's just a matter of time. If there's money to be spent, people will take it. And, yes, I think from a traditional standpoint, you're just like, oh, that's kind of gross and we don't want it. But again, I can watch a game and this probably isn't what advertisers want to hear, but it's like, it may be that I don't know that it's a matter that I don't notice the patches, but if I do notice them, they don't bother me. You see them and your eyes keep moving to other things. So it's not and maybe that's the part where it comes down to the type of patch. I think if it turns into this where it's just like you're just a walking billboard, that's one thing. If it's, hey, you got the Nike swoosh here, and then over here you've got, Domino's or Coca-Cola or, Jimmy's Burrito Barn, whatever it may be, I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. This is I'm probably in the end shocked as much as anything. This has not come up sooner. But now that certainly we are in an era of everybody trying to turn over every stone and squeeze every penny out of everything they possibly can, this was probably overdue. And so not this year, but prepare once we get to the fall of 2026, barring some pretty substantial change in another direction, that there'll be patches on football, and then we will start seeing them added to the basketball side of things as well. Okay, that does it for this wonderful Friday edition of Morning in the Valley. Glad you have been with us today. Again, Ben Jacobson joins us, I believe it is next Friday. And I check my calendar because, I have reached the age where I have to have a calendar at all times. He will actually be with us. I didn't write it down. So that's awesome. It'll be Wednesday or Friday. He'll be with us. Monday, we'll start our conference previews, going team by team and checking them out as we will officially be 5 weeks away from getting ready to start the 2025-26 season. If you haven't done so already, please do us a favor. Go to YouTube, subscribe for free to Morning in the Valley. All our past shows, interview clips, and such are there. Would love the support as we continue to grow this, and could not do it without you. So thanks for being with us today. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday morning right here on Morning in the Valley.